David, a name synonymous with royalty, with courage, with faith. But before the crown, before the victories, he was a shepherd, a young man tending his flock in the fields of Bethlehem. His life was simple, yet touched by destiny. One day the prophet Samuel arrived. He carried a message from God. A new king had been chosen for Israel. Samuel looked upon David's brothers, but God whispered, "Not these." Finally Samuel saw David. A shepherd boy, small in stature but large in heart. Samuel anointed him with oil. David, the youngest son, was chosen by God. This was no ordinary event. It was a turning point in David's life, in Israel's history. The shepherd boy was now the anointed king. He carried a heavy responsibility, yet he remained humble. He continued to tend his sheep, his heart filled with faith and a quiet strength. Word spread of a fearsome giant challenging the Israelite army. Goliath, champion of the Philistines, taunted the Israelites day after day. No one dared to face him. David, now a young man, heard Goliath's boasts. He was outraged. How dare this giant defy the God of Israel? David, armed with only a sling and his unwavering faith, stepped forward. King Saul, skeptical but desperate, offered David his armor. David refused. He would face Goliath with God as his shield. The battle was swift. David's stone found its mark, felling the giant. David, the shepherd boy, had triumphed. This victory made David a hero, but it also ignited the jealousy of King Saul. Saul, consumed by fear and envy, saw David as a threat. Thus began a long and difficult period in David's life. He was hunted by Saul, forced to flee for his life, even as he remained loyal to his king. David's life was a tapestry of triumph and tragedy, of loyalty and betrayal. He married Michal, Saul's daughter, and formed a deep bond with Saul's son, Jonathan. Despite Saul's relentless persecution, David refused to raise his hand against the Lord's anointed. He found refuge in caves surrounded by loyal followers, yet always yearning for peace. Saul's reign ended in tragedy on the battlefield. David mourned the king who had hunted him. He saw not only an enemy, but a man broken by his own demons. With Saul gone, David was crowned king. He united the tribes of Israel, establishing a reign of peace and prosperity. He made Jerusalem his capital, bringing the Ark of the Covenant to the city. David, the shepherd boy, had become King David, a ruler of great wisdom and courage. He expanded the kingdom of Israel, making it a powerful force in the region. But his reign was not without its shadows. He faced internal strife, challenges from enemies, and personal failings that tested his faith and wisdom. David's life was one of extraordinary highs and devastating lows. He tasted both the sweetness of victory and the bitterness of loss. Through it all, he remained a man after God's own heart. His faith never wavered, even in the darkest of times. He poured out his soul in psalms, songs of praise, lament, and repentance. These timeless poems still resonate today, offering comfort, guidance, and inspiration. David's reign lasted 40 years. He left behind a legacy of strength, faith, and wisdom. As his life drew to a close, he passed on his wisdom to his son Solomon. He urged him to follow God's laws, to rule with justice and compassion. David, the shepherd boy who became king, left an indelible mark on history. His story is a testament to the power of faith, the importance of courage, and the enduring legacy of a life lived in service to God and his people.